You know, you need the mother to play the mother role. You need the father to play the father role.
Man, I remember my mom was like, at some point, you know what? Just let this man go. It's okay.
You know, life is too short to dwell on relationships that you could have had. You gotta keep moving.
Yeah.
You know, find a way. If you exactly go to court. I mean, that was your sperm. Hello.
Even this.
Although he was improving his gift giving.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Don't say that. And if the opportunity that me and my dad can have a relationship, I would not shoot it down. I'm very open-minded when it comes to stuff like that.
You don't pay a dime.
You don't pay a dime.
Yo, it's your boy, LJ Chaplin, with Lady Siza, bringing to you Chilling with the Chaplains, where we deep dive, giving you practical concepts in ministry, business, relationship, and personal development. So we can take control of our life. Let's go and let's get it started.
Welcome to Chilling with the Chaplains. It's your boy LJ with the one and only, my lovely wife, Lady Siza. You know she in that building. We about that vibe each and every week. You know what I'm saying? You got us, you know. So, guess what? We got a special guest today.
Yes. Our first U.S. guest.
Special treat, special guest. And so, before I introduce the guest, I would like to say it is my pleasure and honor to introduce her. This is my niece.
Your favorite niece?
This is my niece.
Favorite?
And so, you know, she's doing great things, and I'm truly godly proud of her. And I just my only prayer that she continue to stay focused.
Yes.
And continue to do what God called her to do, and don't get distracted from whatever's going on in the world. You know, don't look at what the world's doing, but you do you, and you focus on what you are called to do, and you focus on you, and whatever other people are doing, you don't have to be the statistic and be a follower just like everybody else, but you be yourself. Absolutely. And so that's my only prayer. And so I truly thank God. And I want to say this because when we started this podcast, the vision of the podcast that I have is that me and my wife will come on and give you tips, tricks, strategies about life, about personal development, about different things that you can learn so that you begin to take action and to be the best version of yourself. But then every now and then bring on the special guest, which is my niece. She is a chaplain, so you know she like the third member.
So she's chilling with
the chaplain.
Yeah.
So she like the third member. But basically, I want the vision is to bring her on every so often, so that we're to break out the monotony.
Yeah, and bring in a younger perspective.
Bring in a younger perspective, because I'm always about young people.
And because he's old.
I want to definitely have a young person perspective, so that we can help young people out. Because if we could train up the youth while they're young, man, they could go so much further down. They could go so much down, so much further as they get older.
Yeah.
And so now, let me just introduce my niece.
I think she can introduce herself. Hello.
My niece. Now I call her Sunshine, but she probably tell you another name. So I want to introduce my niece that I'm godly proud of, and let her introduce herself and tell you a little bit about who she is.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Sunshine.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Ashalia.
Don't be so shy now, because you're not shy.
My name is Ashalia, but you know he calls me Sunshine, and like the rest of my family calls me Shay or Sheila. But yeah, basically I'm from Jersey City. I go to King University. I'm a
Are you still from Jersey City?
I don't know if I can be considered from Jersey City. I moved when I was 12.
All right.
I'm 18, but I'm from Attention basically.
But goes there to sleep. lives her afternoons in Union. She's a
I'm a traveler.
Yeah, she's a nomad.
So yeah, I went to Metuchen High School. I didn't go to middle school there, but yeah, I graduated from Metuchen High School. I go to King University. I'm a freshman. I graduate in 2026.
Yeah.
My major is medical lab science.
Alright.
So yeah, I'm 18 years old.
Oh my God. You're almost a grown up.
Don't say that. The realization hits me every once in a while when I'm in class. Like, I'm a little scared. But yeah, like that's just the basics. You know, I'm just trying to get my life together in school, manage working, social life, family life.
Balance.
Yeah, just a balance. Everything is going good though. It's nothing very hard. I'm just trying to maintain good grades in school.
Well, because you're smart too. That helps, right? Yeah, being smart.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to maintain everything. You know, make sure everything is running smoothly in every aspect of my life, and make sure that I'm still happy as well as a person.
And you're doing an awesome job.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
we're really proud of you. She's doing an incredible job. So just tell us more of, you know, how you balancing the three. Like you've got school, you've got work. What else?
Social life.
Social life.
Social life.
It's really, my thing is just really a bunch of communication, you know, making time for stuff and communicating with my job and like my friends and family, like, hey, you know, can we push this back to another day? I got this thing I got this assignment that came out of nowhere and needs my full attention. Or, you know, telling my job my availability and, you know, telling them ahead of time that I can't come to work, or that, you know, I can't come this day, but I could come this day and do 2 shifts, or like work stay longer than my intended clock out time, you know. It's just really communication. Like I rescheduled going out with my sister from last week to this week because I had a essay due that needed my full attention, and you know I had to prioritize stuff and still make time for the things that matter.
Absolutely. Wow. You can tell that she's an A student, right?
Yes.
I mean, the main thing that I got out of that as well is just communication is key, and also balance, right?
Yeah, like
so. You know, once you keep that afloat, you're good to go.
But
we're not here about that. We are here about something even much more sensitive,
deeper, sensitive,
and deep as well. And we asked Sunshine, because we both call her Sunshine, if she could be our guest on this one, because we know and we've seen her grow up with this issue that we're about to introduce. And funny enough, all 3 of us are in the same boat, but in different ways, and we're gonna unpack that to you. But before we unpack that to you, I just want to also talk about a couple of stats which I got from the U.S. Census Bureau 2021 that talks about fatherless children, you know, and we are all in that boat. Funny enough, both of their fathers are still alive. Mine is no longer alive, but he was also an absent father. So we're talking absent fathers today, right? So fatherless children are twice as likely to drop out of school.
wow, I did not know that.
Drop out of high school than children with both parents at home. This is twice as likely. So the beautiful part is that we all don't fall under these statistics.
yes, we all don't fall under
So we
these
can
statistics.
applaud ourselves for that, you know. And also 40% more likely to repeat a class. Let's hear who's repeated a class here, because I haven't.
I have never repeated.
Great. So you've repeated a class? So the statistic got you. And it says 70% more likely to drop out of school. So we've already spoken about that. But also 18.3 million children in the United States, because that's the stat that I have, live without a father in a home. That's a lot of children. That means 1 in 4 children.
Now, and this is everyone, like, or just African Americans?
This is
This is like an American.
American.
It must be all races,
general,
ethnicities,
So if you look at
Probably
black,
50%.
it's probably more than
More,
50%.
probably more than
Like
50%.
75.
Probably 70, yeah,
Yeah, the
70%.
number is quite high. So thank God that, you know, the white people helped saturate it to 1 to 4, because in the black community it's pretty high, which is actually very, very sad. So we are here to be vulnerable to you guys. This is a really sensitive subject to all 3 of us. We don't take it lightly, but the chaplains, you know, chilling with the chaplains is all about empowering and impacting, and just allowing you to also understand that you're not alone. You know, we going through the same struggles. It's just how you handle it at the end of the day. So we're just gonna pose a few questions to Shay Shay, and then we'll also contribute to how it has impacted our lives as well. So go ahead, baby.
Yes, and so because I know your situation, I know how you grew up. So I want to ask you, because the chaplain children don't. And so I want to ask you, being an individual, growing up, your father was there, but you only was able to see him on weekends. And so I would like to know, how did that impact you, and how did you deal with that?
So when I was younger, I would only see my dad on Sundays. It wasn't like weekends. It was a weekend.
Sundays.
It was Sundays before church. And he would come at like 8 or 9 in the morning and leave right before I got ready to go to church. And I wouldn't see him the whole week. So, I was a daddy's girl. So you can't really be a daddy's girl without seeing your dad all the time. So it kind of was like, disheartening, because he did have another family, and my sister was seeing her father consistently every day after school, in the morning. And, I was at home. I had father figures. I had my uncle, my cousin, my grandfather and stuff. But, they aren't my father.
Right.
So it was kind of disheartening. But, I was trying to just push it to the back of my mind, because I had my mom and I had my brother and stuff. So I was trying to push it to the back of my mind, like, at least I still see him.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I was small. And then I would just try to like make the best out of my situation, because I really didn't know what was going on until I got older. And that kind of changed my perspective of how I felt as a kid as well.
What perspective, what you mean it changed your perspective?
But before we go into perspective, because that's like currently,
yes.
I want to know, you said you were at daddy's school. What?
But how was your perspective back then?
I was very in love with my father. He could do no wrong in my eyes. So I was blind to like all the stuff that was going on, because obviously I was a child. And my view of him was skewed, because he is my dad. I love him unconditionally.
It'll always be.
Exactly. There's no change in that. So I still love my father to this day, which it's from a distance. You can't give abundant love to someone and they don't want it.
And they're not
reciprocating it back either. Right. So when I was small, he, in a sense, any name you try to paint on him, that's not my dad. My dad's this and that, So I was always had like this pure vision of him.
That's good.
And then going back to LJ's question, how has it now, tainted your
my perception of him now?
Yeah.
I just feel like he was very manipulative when I was a child, and very narcissistic, because he knew like I was wrapped around him. So when him and my mom was on the outs, he was low-key trying to like whisper things in my ear about my mom and stuff, and it would kind of cause a drift between me and my mother, because she's my main guardian. I live with her and I'm with her all the time, so it would kind of cause a drift between me and her. And I'm like 7, 6, at the time that I'm growing up, they would get mad at each other. He'll get mad at her, and then he's like, your mother isn't this, she's this and that, like just a bunch of stuff you shouldn't be saying to a kid. And I'll take them like, well, you got my dad mad, and I don't like you, this and stuff like that. It was very petty, but he was a manipulator, and as I look back at it now, he really didn't care about me the way I thought he did.
Wow, that's a mouthful, and I just got a couple of nuggets from what you just shared as well, like how even parents, grown-ups, how they can change a child's perspective. And how the past can affect the future as well. So let's jump into you, LJ, because you also have a father, but knowing your history as your wife, he's alive, but he wasn't there for you emotionally growing up as a child. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I know we discussed it, so, we discussed it already in previous episodes that, my father was there, but he wasn't there.
Well, still there. He's not there.
Yeah, but up to when I was young, he lived with me. We lived together, but he wasn't present. He wasn't present because. So
you're speaking it in the past tense. You're saying right now he is present.
No, yeah, we talk, we good, chill. Everything's good. We talk and everything. So we do things, but back then, he wasn't present. He was physically living in the home, but he wasn't present emotionally, relationally. He wasn't present, and so that's the one
Even
thing.
financially.
Financially, it was okay because he did do some things financially. You know, like I said before, take us to McDonald's, buy me games. So he did things like that. The only thing he didn't, like I said, when I wanted to, he promised a lot of things but didn't do it.
And how did all that make you feel as a child? Like you're more than welcome to ask questions as well, because this is your grandfather we're talking about. Just as a disclaimer, chillers, Sunshine is
My sister.
I'm his niece with him.
like really
my
really
mom and him, my brother and
sister.
sister.
Yeah, so that's
Same
how
parents and
they
everything.
relate. Same
Yeah,
mother,
same mother, same father. Yeah, same mother, same father.
Yeah, so go ahead, baby.
What was your question?
How those experiences with your father being absent in your life when you were younger have impacted you right now as a man and a potential father yourself.
Even as an African American man.
Yeah.
Like I said before, again, when I was younger, you know, I like they know I used to say I didn't have a father. Because he wasn't presently there. So
you said that if he was needed at school or you needed to go to some activities, what would make you say, well, kids ask you, where's your father? Who's your father? For you to give them that answer.
Yeah, if they did, I'll just say that. I'm like, cause he wasn't there emotionally, relationally. So I'm like, I ain't have a father.
Wow.
So but how that how that impact me, I always say, when I get married, when I do have children, I want to make sure I'm there physically. And another thing impacted me, and I think, of course, I made sure I said I never wanted to have children out of wedlock.
Yeah.
I want to make sure I'm married before I have children. You know, because I don't want no one to feel what I felt. And when and if a lot of men and women realize that, understand that, you know, that they think they're doing something because they can have a child.
Yeah.
And not understand that when you have a child and you're not together, you know, it hurts, it impacts the child.
It's not just about you.
It's not just about you. It's a child.
A whole human.
Yeah, it's a whole human, and that child need both parents.
Yeah.
And they need to see how both parents live together. They need to see interact with each other and love each other. They need to see that. And when parents is not together, then that's a broken home, and it really impacts the child a whole lot. And that's why you say a person with a single family. That's why it's so numbered, because you know, when you don't have that accountability for your mother and your father, someone that's gonna hold you accountable, you know, is tough. Because your mother only gonna do so much, and the father only gonna do so much. So you need both to play their role. You know, you need the mother to play the mother role. You need the father to play the father role. And so that's how it impacted me, because I said I didn't want no children without marriage and commit.
But also, just before you answer your question, I just want to say, like, having married you and been with you for just over 5 years, I noticed that you lacked the emotional connection as well, even with me as your wife in the beginning. Because of you didn't see your parents didn't model what a married couple should look like, or what they do. Because he was forever absent, not just to you, but also to your mom, which was even more hurtful. So your mom became your mom and dad while your father was still actually alive. In the house, you know, breathing the same oxygen.
That's what I'm saying. Seeing you in the morning time.
I know.
Seeing you when you come from work.
Right. And I remember you narrated a story that whenever you needed something, you'd have to go to the bar to get that signed off or whatever. And that has really impacted you. Now, you might not see it, but I remember I narrated this to you within our marriage, which caused a bit of a problem when we first started getting married. When we first started being married, that you emotionally absent too. well, you've drastically improved now.
Yes.
You know, but then that was one of our biggest challenges, that you just didn't know how
To be a husband.
And just to relate to somebody emotionally. Like you expressing yourself was so hard.
Yes.
And when I knew,
besides being an introvert.
besides that, and when I knew what had happened, then I kind of empathized with you, because I understood that we had to really start you from scratch, you know, and I had my own thing coming in as well, so we'll get to me.
Yes.
I had a question.
Oh, I was gonna ask, do you think he regrets not being in your life as he should have now that he's older?
Yes, he did. He do regret it, and that's why now he said I couldn't. That's why I always said I couldn't do it with my children, so I make sure I do it for my grandchildren. I try to be there, do the things for them, not just be there financially, but be there, you know, picking them up and doing the little things, you know, taking them to school, picking them up from school, doing the little things, and just being present, you know, and talking and picking them up from school.
And that has helped you as well, because now you have a father figure.
Yeah, so basically when I was small, I used to always ask Granddaddy, you know, did you regret not being so present? And
I used
to ask him because my mother used to tell me how they would always have to find him around the corner. Or she didn't know, she said she didn't know that he got off of work at 3.
Wow.
She thought he got off of work around like 8 or 6 o'clock because he came home late. So he always told me that, you know, he regrets it and it's one of his biggest mistakes. So I feel like he reflected upon his actions, and that's why he tries to be there so much for me and my brother and my uncle's kids and stuff like that, because he wasn't as active as he should have been when he was a father. And I appreciate that now, because even though he be getting on my nerves just a little bit, I love him.
Well, like most dads.
But I love my grandfather, because we be arguing sometimes, but it's like you know, he's him and I'm me, so but I still love my grandpa, and I'm glad that he could look back and reflect upon how he should have been a better father. Something that I wish my father could do.
Right. We'll pray for him.
We'll pray for him. Because you never know, when he get older, he'll realize the mistakes he made. Because he do got 2 daughters.
Yeah. Let's hope he doesn't waste a lot of time.
Yes, don't waste a lot of time.
With your father, he realized that when you guys were grown up,
yeah.
You know, and he couldn't take back those years, but thankfully he's got grandkids that he's able to rebuild a relationship.
And he's trying to be there for you now.
Trying
to keep that relationship.
Yeah, that's why I said the relationship now is good.
I'm happy that you guys have fixed that, because he seemed very regretful when I was a kid that he wasn't there as he should have been.
Yes. So about your daddy issue.
So my daddy has passed on. He passed on when I was 21, I believe.
Oh wow.
I was preparing to come to the United States, and I had to kind of postpone that because my daddy had been shot dead. A very traumatic death, which left me very broken. I remember at his funeral crying, and somebody asking me, "But you hardly spent time with him. Why are you crying?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right, you know." But
right before he was gonna give
pay the
damages.
Well, I didn't know that until now.
I know.
I didn't know that he was gonna pay damages. You know, damages in our African culture, it means that if you were a child born out of wedlock, your father would go to your mother's family to pay a certain amount of money to buy you back into his family so that you use his last name. So I remain using my mom's maiden name because I was never bought by my father. So I've always belonged to my mom's family versus my father's family. Now, I learned that, actually, in fact, before I got married the first time, to you, because I'm married to the same man twice, that my father had initially wanted to come and pay the damages before he passed away. He was regretful as well, not being there for me, because I'm also a child of rejection. You know, when I was born, I've shared this with the chillers as well, is that my oldest brother, who's 3 months older than me, 3 months. So my father dated 2 women at the same time, and got both of them pregnant more or less at the same time. Yeah, so you can tell us that.
Me and my sister are born in the same month. She's 5 days younger than me.
What?
Her birthday is January 5th. Mine
Same
January
year?
6th. No, she's a year after me. But when my mom was like in her 8th month, my sister mom was just starting to like show or like notice that she was pregnant. So it was kind of
Look,
like the same
look at how
thing.
similar it is, right? In my case, my mom and my brother's mom were both pregnant at the same time. So as a result, my brother is born 1980 December, and I'm March 81. So that's like really close. And because he was a boy, he was selected over me. So my father didn't deny that I was his child, thankfully, but he never really took the financial responsibility because he thought he has an heir. You know, the boy child was much better to take responsibility of than a girl child. So that's how I lost, or rather got rejected by my father. But going back to him being an absent father, it started from there when I was born. And I grew up knowing that he was my father, but we hardly communicated. In fact, I related more with his younger brother than I did with him. It would be such a very awkward situation when I go to his homestead, which you went to, that's his family's home in the countryside. You'll be like, hi, like my dad, like hi, you know. And then his brother, younger brother, would be like, oh, dad, and you know, I'll be more closer to him than my own real father, and that hurt me a lot. And I'm always grateful, and I think we're gonna go to that part right now, how it with me, how it affected me, that I did not have daddy issues as such. I know I have daddy issues, but they didn't harm me in a way that I never went looking for the alternative dad. Because most people who have daddy issues, they either have lots of children out of wedlock, trying to cover up that absent father. They go looking for the wrong father figures out there. They have boyfriends who are much older than them because they're looking for that father figure in the boyfriend, and all these crazy things that we see out there. So thankfully, God covered me, and I wasn't a statistic in that regard, but it damaged me in a way that I did not have an opportunity to experience a mother-father relationship in my own home. I was brought up by my grandmother and my mother. My mother was also a partly absent mother because she worked far from home. So I spent most of my time with my grandmother, who did a brilliant job in bringing me up with the help of my mother financially, of course. But the fact that I did not have a mother and father relation made it tough. So that's me. Now let's go back to our guest.
Yes.
And we want to know
Special guest.
Our special guest. We want to know that, we know that you're doing very well in school, and you've done exceptionally well in high school as well. How were you able to do this, not having that support from your father? Because I'm sure you've always yearned for his attention. And tell us also, yearning for his attention, how has it affected you?
So I'm gonna start with your first question. Being academically successful, I will have to give it all to his mom, my grandmother, and my mom, because
grandmothers are the best.
Because
right?
like you said, I was running the house for everybody. My aunt lived next door. He lived in the same house with me and my mom and my grandpa and grandmother. So I would just have to say, my grandma, she really pushed me, and my mother pushed me even more. Because, as you know, my grandmother, she does not have any education. She can't read. She knows how to do math, though. She knows how to do them numbers.
She's smart.
She's smart.
She's street smart.
She is street smart. So she really wanted me to have that, standard education, elementary school, middle school, high school, college. So I feel like I took in the things that she didn't have, and it kind of pushed me. Even though there was times I was failing classes badly, but I still always wanted to make my grandmother proud because she raised me. That's why I speak like her sometimes.
Okay.
We got that accent, and that's why I'm so close to my grandmother. I call her before I even go to school sometimes.
Wow.
And I speak to my mother all the time. I live at home with her. I slept in her bed last night. But I really have to give it to my mom because she knew how I felt when, me and my dad really stopped speaking because of something very childish that I said when I was 8. I can't remember what sparked the distance, but it's probably one of the lines that I said. I felt like he wasn't my real father because I never saw him. And he took offense to that, and that was just it. end of our relationship. That was it.
So when did you guys rekindle it back again?
We rekindled it when I graduated 8th grade, but it was short-lived. I would say this summer, and then once I started my freshman year of high school, we stopped speaking. And then we rekindled it again when I graduated high school because I got in contact with my godfather, which is his best friend. And me and my godfather, he's like a dad sometimes. He always trying to make sure I have stuff. He just asked me yesterday, do you need a coat? Do you need sweaters, stuff for the winter? He asked me how much I needed. And I was like, you don't gotta go crazy because I know you have kids on your own. But I appreciate him checking in on me, calling me and stuff, going by his house. It's, so a part of my dad. But, our relationship, I don't think it will ever be the same. But I really appreciate my grandma and my mom for, trying their best to help me feel that I was accepted because when my dad stopped speaking to me, I didn't feel loved. It felt, I don't know, I felt disowned because I felt like me expressing myself shouldn't have got that reaction out of him.
Right. Especially him as a grown-up.
Yeah, he was grown.
He could have handled it better.
I feel like we could have just had a sit-down talk, like, why do you feel like this? Or, just a regular talk, but it didn't go that way. It didn't go the way I wanted it to go. So it just sparked this reaction of absence out of him. And then it got even worse when my mom put him on child support. So it was just a whole another commotion of itself. He still doesn't let that go to his dad.
Now, I remember the child support struggles in my life as well. Because from as much as I can remember, my father was a principal. I don't even remember him being a teacher. He was a principal like all my life. I don't know how, but I'm sure he was a teacher at some point. Yeah. But, because you progress, you don't just become a principal, right? So, which means he had money. He could afford to support me. But the man used to, I remember my mom was like, at some point, you know what? Just let this man go. It's okay. Your granny's here. I'm here. We'll take care of you. But I really wanted the child. I wanted the child support. I'm like, no, Mom, we gotta fight and get the child. My mom was like, I'm tired of going to those court cases, and the man doesn't show up. They even is it sanctioned? What's the name?
No, not subpoena.
Something to his checks.
Oh, they probably was just withdrawing stuff or putting a hold on his checks.
Yes, they did that, and I think he fought it, but he really, really fought to just support me. And now at some point I was like, it's okay. I think I just finally just let things go, and I think that's when the healing started as well for me, because I held on to that man for so long. And I remember I used to make promises like your father that he never ever fulfilled, and I every time I asked him for something, part of me knew that it was not going to happen, and that just put in more damage and more damage until I let the man go. So I was talking about when he died, I wasn't crying for the fact that he died.
You was crying for the relationship you didn't have.
Yes.
That's
because at the back of my mind, even though I was 21,
you were still a little kid.
I was still hopeful.
Yeah.
And I was still caught up in the child Siza who craved for a relationship with her father, and it just never happened. So when he died, and I was given an opportunity to see him in the coffin, I was like, I wish. The crying was not because the poor man died. Okay, he died. So, but my crying was more for myself to say, we could have had.
But what could have been?
What could have been?
What could have been? Yeah. Because you never know. It could have changed, like my father.
Yeah.
You never know. As he got older, he could have changed. Like he did. He had some regrets or whatever. Right. But it was a little bit too late because. That's why because you never know when your life is too short. So that's why you don't want to, if you feel do it right away. Yeah.
So I think this is a plea to those people who are absent fathers right now who's watching this, that if you're regretting not being there for your child, it's never too late.
It's never too late.
Just go there and try to rebuild the relationship.
Yes.
It because it has tainted your child's life in one way or the other. It has distorted something. It has damage something in them. So just reach out and just try and build.
Yes, and let go of the pride, and whatever disagreements you have with the other parent, that's not you and the parent can have a disagreement, but you and your child don't have to have a disagreement.
Yeah.
And so even for those fathers, because I know so father might, you know what, but she give me a hard time for seeing them. Then you know what? Then you find
a way.
and then you also put in God's hand. If that's the case, and she fighting you and she lying.
But the
on
beautiful part is that fathers have rights now.
Yeah.
You know, find a way. If you exactly go to court. I mean, that was your sperm. Hello. So you fight it. If you really want it to happen, don't put an excuse on the mother.
Yes.
Because
on the child
day,
as well.
or even on the child. At the end of the day, it's you are responsible.
You're responsible.
Just as much.
Yes.
Any last words you wanna?
I just want to say that for the kids who are fatherless, don't let that make you feel insecure about a lot of things. Because being fatherless can put some insecurities in you, put some doubts in your heads. You know, just try and be better than that parent that left you, that father that left you, because, you know, life is too short to dwell on relationships that you could have had. You got to keep moving.
Yeah. So before we pass it on to LJ, I also want to know, he's LJ in the show. I want to know, what do you think, how is it going to impact you going forward in life? Like, what have you learned from not having a father?
I learned that, you know, what I really learned is that you can't look for these relationships in other people. Because a father is always going to be a father. You can't find a father relationship in a mom or grandma, any other type of relationship you have. Sometimes you have to come to terms with reality and realize, you know, my dad isn't in my life. I have to cherish these relationships that I have with the people who are.
Amen. You know, I just listened to a little clip by Ayan Love Van Zant, and she said exactly what you're saying. That's why she's an A student, right? Because she said, just get over the fact that he's not there.
Yes.
And don't go around looking. For him in other people, but embrace the relationships that are there who are your father figures.
She said it perfectly.
Perfect.
She said it perfectly.
Perfect.
That's why I'm God proud of, because I always knew my niece was smart, and I always knew she could do great things, and she just stay focused. And regardless, and that's why, you know, I think that's why, you know, she don't have to look to nobody else, because she do have her grandfather. She do have her cousin, which bought her a car.
I want a cousin like that. A convertible, by the way.
Volkswagen.
And she had myself, and she could come to us whenever she need. If she needs something, she need a ride to school, she could call us, and we would be there for her, because we want her to stay focused and do what she need to do, and where she don't have to depend on the man, because we men, we understand what men is about, and so we don't want, you know, my niece to be dependent on a man for anything, because a lot of times, you know, men they young men dogs.
They use the opportunity.
Yes, they use the opportunity for selfish reasons, and so you gotta be smart, and so you know.
I just want to ask you a question, because you know that she, had an absent father. You as the uncle, because you are the uncle.
Yes.
You know, how have you played a role in her life? In not, I won't say replace our father.
No, can't replace the father.
But stepping up.
But stepping up. Have you, knowing very well with your challenges as well, with your father, because this is a test for your children as well, to say, are you going to be able to be that father who's present, who's there? Have you been able to do it for Sunshine? Has it been easy? I mean, listen, I'm not asking you this question out of judgment. I just want to get a perspective of, has it been easy for you to be that father figure to her, because she's like your daughter? In my culture, she would be your daughter.
I was like his daughter when I was small. It was like, me Uncle Booby. Me Uncle Booby. We had a little song and everything.
In my culture, you wouldn't even be uncle.
That's dad.
It's dad.
Yeah.
So would I mean, and it's sad that you guys, it didn't really flourish to be a father-daughter relationship.
But I still appreciate his influence on me as a kid, and even now, when I did get back in contact with my dad, I talked to him about it, and I talked to Deshaun about it, and I talked to my grandfather about it. I opened up to all three of them, and I just wanted to know their perspective because, you know, they were the father figure in my life. So I do feel like, even though now I'm not as active with him as I used to be, I still feel like he is there for me. I ask him to take me somewhere, he takes me. I talk to him whenever I have to, whenever I feel like I need to talk to somebody. So,
but has he stepped up as a father?
Because I always tell her too, regardless of what happened, reach out to your father because he's still your father.
You'll always remember.
Yeah. So I used to tell her, reach out to your father. You know, just to see what's up. Now it's on him. If he don't respond,
no, I like you to answer the question that I'm asking. Like I said, it's not out of judgment or pushing you into a corner, but I just want to get your mindset around how you having an absent father has affected you in being a father to somebody who needed a father.
Well, I did what I can. I did do
what you knew.
Yeah, what I knew. I was there. I talked to a teacher. You know, showed different things, and one of the things that I did, I got this from Miles Morrell, the late great Miles Morrell, rest in peace. He said, buy a book for and that you wanted to read, buy a book for it. So I did. I bought books, and I used to pay my niece for reading the books. I don't know if she read them.
I did read them.
I don't know if she read them.
She's a smart cookie. She probably did.
I don't know. She's smart. She also could have read the back of the thing.
Summarized it.
And summarized it. So I don't know. So it's because her brother kind of told her. So I don't know.
He was lying.
But books are for keeps. So if she hadn't read it before, she can
always read it. But
I read the books you bought me though.
But I did buy her a couple books to read. The Richest Man of Babylon. Think and Grow Rich. And that's the only 2 books. Think and Grow Rich and The Richest Man of Babylon.
Yeah, I think I started high school when I finished the second book.
Yes. So, you know, and so doing it, and then trying to just teach her, trying to be there for her, you know, when she take different places that she wanted to go. So just trying to be
what
present.
about advice? Like, because I think more than anything that I miss from having with my father a relationship is where I could ask him like boyfriend questions, you know, but not necessarily like.
But I know what you mean.
Yeah, like a man's perspective on life, you know, how to be treated as what to expect as a woman from a man, yeah, and how what's right and what's wrong. How if a man treats me in this way, should I accept that? Things like that. And I'm saying this because maybe you have not thought of that, and I really would love you to step up. She's in college now, and be that even for her brother and your other nieces and nephews, because that's a great practice run for you as a father.
Yeah. So,
soon to be father.
Yeah, but I did teach. The main thing I always tell her to focus on you.
Yeah.
Do what you gotta do. Go to school.
But she's still a child, so she still needs you to guide her along.
Yeah.
The way.
So and that's all I could do. Just guide her and tell her to focus on. And I'll say if you talk to, it's okay to find somebody, talk to somebody, but make sure they. Their goals, their whys, what they're trying to do,
Are you comfortable enough to go to him and ask him such questions? Like really sensitive?
That's probably his mother.
But you need a man's perspective. That's why most women who are fatherless fall pregnant. Mm-hmm. They get the STIs because they just don't know where to go, where to up. Because if you go to your friends, they'll tell you what they know, and it's usually wrong.
And it's usually wrong. Yes.
So are you comfortable in asking your uncle such questions? Because if you're not, then you should start. This is the time.
I think when when a situation like that arises, I would ask him.
Yeah.
Or Deshaun.
Deshaun already beat me to the punch when I graduated high school. But he has instilled in my head since I was young not to accept less from a man.
Yeah.
Than I would accept from him, because he always is there for me whenever I need him, and he's only a phone call away. So him and my grandfather has done a very good job of telling me, it's okay to open that door up for the relationships and stuff like that, but be mindful and wise about who you involve yourself with.
And and it's always good to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good to wait.
So I just feel like to answer your question that you asked him, I feel
And don't
like
be a statistic. That's one thing. You know, you don't have to follow the crowd and do what everybody else do. You know, if you do what you do, and we just listen to the podcast, if you focus on you, the right man will come.
Of course, yeah, you'll attract.
You will attract the right man, and that's gonna want to be with you without selling yourself to that man.
Yeah.
You know, because when you do
treat you like the
yeah,
real
and treat you like the real thing, yeah. And they will propose to you. He proposed in 3 weeks.
No, it was
I was there 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
You thought I was there
Yeah,
6
you-
weeks.
Wait, how long did you wait? How long was it before
2
you?
months.
Yeah.
Okay.
2 months before.
Some people know the first day, but you know.
8 weeks. I'm like,
Six,
what?
so it's men out there. If you respect yourself, you do what you're gonna do. He gonna see the value. You're gonna see that value.
Yeah.
And guess what? If he want to be with you, for the single ladies, for those like if you do what you need to do, you focus on you.
And you know your worth.
And you know your worth, you know your values. You stand on you. And she was open. She, you know, this is me. This is what I'm doing. She lived in another country.
Yeah.
I'm not going back to the U.S. I'm not living. But because she know her worth and she stand on this, he was willing to accept it.
Yeah.
And he proposed in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So don't let me know. Oh man, I gotta do. No, you don't. He can propose in 6. A man will, if he want to be with you, it don't take long.
Yeah.
Don't give me that. If you feel like
dating for 10 years.
yeah, don't give me that. If you
Yeah,
want,
if
if we want to be with you and you see the worth, guess what? He will put a ring on it.
Yeah.
Good. Why? He want to marry you right away.
Yeah. He's
Potential.
Your potential, yeah. So so ladies, hold on, be patient. Don't be so quick because
he's not your father.
yeah, he's not your father.
Shay said it so well.
Yes.
Don't go looking for the father in these men because you
It
won't
doesn't
find
work.
him.
Yeah, don't worry.
And I'm so happy.
You're
to hear
just
that
gonna be
from you
disappointed. You're gonna be
as
disappointed.
a freshman, right?
I'm a freshman in
Freshman in college, because that's where the trouble usually starts.
Oh no.
Yeah.
They're not getting me.
But I'm saying I'm so glad to actually hear you say that.
Yes.
In your own
Yeah,
mouth. Yeah.
When I first started, first week orientation, I already seen what was gonna go down, and I decided I already got enough stress. I don't need another thing, because the girl already knows she's already going through stuff like that, and I'm just like, I'm gonna watch this from afar.
Yeah.
When I'm very stressed, it doesn't go well for me. I'm not happy with myself. I'm not happy with the things I'm doing. So I just feel like getting myself involved with a boy that's on campus who's fresh out of high school, ready to explore everything on campus.
Yeah.
I can't be involved with. I'm messing with this one dude. He walking down the hall with two other girls. I can't do that. I'd rather not stress myself out with stuff like that. I'd rather just be myself. And if senior year happens, something happens, it's whatever. But right now, we too young. We're too fresh into college for something serious to ever spark off.
And I love that, Shaysha, because what you're doing unintentionally, you're breaking a generational curse.
And that's the one thing I want.
She's
want
doing
her to
it
do.
unintentionally, but she's actually doing
Yes,
it.
she's actually
And
doing
I
it.
applaud you for
And I
that.
hope she keep it up.
Because also one
it
of
could be
my
shown
things
other
was-
women too that it's possible.
possible.
You can't.
Because one of
can't
my
do it.
things was just like you, and I don't want to have a child out of wedlock because I felt the pain of not having my mom and dad. And fortunately or unfortunately, I got married at 36. And I had hoped that as soon as we get married, we're gonna be having we're gonna start a family, have children. But it hasn't happened that way because it's all in God's hands, right? But we are glad that we don't have any baby mama drama or baby daddy drama to deal with among the two of us, or stepchild and stuff, because I'm a stepchild and I know that I put my stepmother through some
Something.
Yeah, some things. I mean, I wasn't a bad stepchild, but I would go to a house and ask for money, or I'll wait for my father. Like, she can't kick me out. I'm my father's daughter, But I'm sure in the back of her mind, for a woman, would you think, oh, this child.
Why is she here?
Yeah,
Why is she here?
So I can imagine what you went through, and you coming to take money from my father's kids, my husband. I don't know what you thought, but at least we don't have to deal with that. You wanted to answer something before we close?
Oh yeah, I just want to say, when you asked him that he felt like he stepped up, maybe he did answer, but before he answered it, I thought maybe he didn't. But to me, he did the little things that matter. My uncle. I mean, when I was still in I was still in Catholic school. We had Daddy-Daughter Day. And my father did not show up. I was so heartbroken. I was like, I'm going to be the only kid in here with a prom. This is so embarrassing. I wanted to go home. And then he showed up. I was like, oh my God, he's here. I was so happy.
Was it the only time that...
No, it was other times. Like, he came to graduations. He was coming to school events. I remember he came. I was in, like, a school play. I was, like, one of the drum drops or something. He came with my mom. I was just so excited. And then I know he missed graduation. He was a little late.
Because it's always late.
But it's okay. I'm still glad he showed up because he could have been like, I'm late. I'm just not going to come. He did come out to eat with us and stuff.
Yeah.
So, he does try to make it possible.
Yeah. I try them little things. I try because I wish that would things like that I would have had.
The little things matter really. Like they make the biggest impact.
Even this.
Although he must improve in his gift giving.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Don't say that. But he's gotten better though.
He's gotten better. He really has. Even with me, I had a lot of teaching to do.
It'll be Christmas. What my gift? What gift?
Nah,
What you mean? What gift? I don't care if it's your birthday. Work it over.
No gifts. Oh, I get it. Yeah, he's terrible with
Yeah.
that. God will help him.
Now I do want to ask you before we close. I would like to ask you, what are your goals now? We talked about the issues and your father, the relationship. What are your goals now? What you want to accomplish within the next 5 years? Where you see yourself at the college?
Yeah.
I would like to be already, before I even graduate, to already have an internship and a job in my field. And then when I graduate, I would like to already be in there, like already have my foot placed on the ground, running in my career. I would also like to see myself saving up to move out my mom's house.
Oh, okay. Don't push it.
No, I'm like saving up for the years coming after 5 years to move out. But I would also like to have more financial stability and start building my credit by the time I graduate college, because that's when I need it.
Yeah.
That's when I need it when I graduate college. I would like to already have like a good credit score, be already established, like starting my career, not established, be starting my career, and just
and travel a bit.
Yes, and just living my life and having fun. And if the opportunity that me and my dad can have a relationship, I will not shoot it down. I'm very open-minded when it comes to stuff like that. I don't feel like I should hold a grudge, because life is life. If you want,
it's too short.
And life is too short.
Exactly. And if he wants to be there when I'm like 25, it doesn't matter. I will let go everything and start from scratch. That's the only thing. So I will hope to have already a job in my career when I graduate, living my life, traveling, saving, and building a good credit score.
Yeah. I also want to say, I want to acknowledge my stepfather, who stepped up as a father in my life. I mean, he married my mom, which was old.
Girl!
Yeah, she was in her 50s. Yeah, so I was in my 30s already. But those couple of years that he's been married to my mom, the last 10 years have been, good. He's been a father. It's somebody, although we're not close because they're so far away from me, but it's somebody that I know that I can rely on. I remember when I lost my job, I didn't know how to pay for my car note. He stepped up. He was the one who paid for my car note, but I promised to pay him back, which I did when I got my job. But knowing that I had that,
standing behind him.
Right. He could have just looked the other way because I was not his child, but he actually stepped up, and I'll never forget that, and I'm very grateful to him for that. Hence, when we did our Membeso, our traditional African wedding, he, culturally, he's not supposed to be getting any gifts, but we did gift him with something just to thank him for being a father figure in my life. So we want to say this podcast was sponsored by
Next Opportunity Window. It's a dope community where we able to have deep conversations just like this. Someone that can hold you accountable. You can be held accountable. You can learn. You can train. You can connect. It's all about connecting with other like-minded individuals. So in this community, you can connect with other like-minded individuals and learn from them. And being held accountable so that you able to hit your goal and take advantage of the next opportunity windows. And how do we do this? We do have daily things that you can go through, go through the content and get motivated on a daily basis with the daily themes. Also, we have monthly webinars on content that I choose about we on Push Your Dreams to the Test, which is the second week.
Which is dope.
Amazing.
Yeah.
If you haven't, if you want to join the mastermind, I'm telling you, join them. I mean, we are learning, we are growing. We have it every quarter.
We're actually going to be publishing a book with the ladies. Well, I'll help them publish a book with the ladies because they're part of the mastermind. So you are missing out on great stuff if you're not part of the community. So come join us.
Because you never know what kind of connections you could build through these masterminds and training. And when we was talking to them, my wife like, oh, that's a nigga public. And my wife published a book. She said, I can help you.
And I'm writing 3 anthologies right now. So, I know a thing or two about writing.
Yes. And she like, I can help you. And so this is what it's about. When you're a part of this community, we can help you take you to the next level.
Yes.
And so this is why you want to invest yourself. And like I said, we give you a 7-day free trial. Test us out, to try it out, to see if you like it. To get acquainted within the 7 days. And if you like it, you feel acquainted, you feel comfortable, we say stay.
Yeah.
And
for
it's
only $9.99.
Small investment of $9.99. It's less than $1 a day, 33 cents a day. That's less than a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
If you spend a cup of coffee, you definitely get spend money on the community. $9.99. And like I said, get in now because like I said, as we add value, prices will increase. Today's price, yesterday's prices ain't today's prices.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yes.
But also, having said that, we want to say, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate those who subscribe. Share it with your friends. Share it with your enemies as well and strangers. Share it because it really helps us with the channel. The channel. But also, we'd love to be your friends on social media, especially on Instagram. So you can follow me at LadySeason1 on Instagram. And what about you, Shay Shay?
Yes, and just to be aware, when she share, if you can't buy her a car, you can't. Disclaimer. You gotta know goals. You gotta have goals. You gotta be.
Hey, just following her. Go ahead. What's your handle?
Oh my God, it's so corny.
Say it.
It's shorty named Shay. I mean, it's like an 8th grade. I haven't changed it
You can change it.
I'm barely on Instagram, so I just keep it because everybody that I'm associated with knows that's my Instagram.
Yeah, what is it?
Shorty named Shay.
Shorty named Shay.
Whoa.
You can change it.
Yeah, you can change it.
You can change it.
And you, baby?
Yes. Get inspired by LJ on Instagram, YouTube, fan base, as well as Twitter.
Okay.
Twitter.
And also, you can. I'm sorry. You can listen to us on the audio platforms at
Yes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts.
Yes.
Spotify, Amazon Music, and my wife's favorite.
Oh yeah. Siri. No, not Siri.
Tune in, Alexis.
Oh, Alexis, play Chilling with the
Chaplains. Yes, as well as iHeartRadio, Stitcher. And like I said, we always tell you, to follow us, to rate us, to leave a review. Your review, everything that you do, it helps us to continue to grow the channel and to reach more people. If you've been listening to the podcast, you've been listening to it for a while, we don't want you to just date us. We want you to marry us.
Come on now. Put that ring on it.
Put that ring on it. And support us. One way you can support us and continue to help us to grow the channel is by following. Like I said, what is it? It's Mahala.
Mahala, free. You don't pay a dime.
You don't pay a dime to subscribe. I know writing a review might be a little something, because you got to think, but still, writing a review, it does help. We would like to hear your feedback. This is how we're
to comment down below.
This is how we're to continue to create more content because we want to hear what you want to learn.
And the only way we know that you're actually watching is by seeing your comments.
Yes.
All right. Like and comment.
And subscribe and follow.
Yeah.
Yes.
So on that note, we want to say
we'll see you next week.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Yo, it's your boy, LJ Chaplin, with Lady Siza, bringing to you Chilling with the Chaplains, where we deep dive, giving you practical concepts in ministry, business, relationship, and personal development. So we can take control of our life. Let's go and let's get it started.